So, Max Squad, today we're going to be doing a speed test between the Redmi Note 9S and the Moto G Power. This is round 2 between these two devices. Stay tuned for the heat. In 3, 2, 1. So, Max Squad, back again with a brand new video here. And as we said in the intro, this is going to be a speed test between the Moto G Power and the Redmi Note 9S. And in case you're new to the channel here, this is going to be a round 2 between these two devices here. And so as I do in all my other speed test videos here, I'm going to discuss the specifications on paper to see which device can actually take away the first W here. So with the Moto G Power here, you can see that we got the Snapdragon 665 inside this device. It's an octa-core chipset that is clocked at 2 GHz. And for the GPU, it's going to be the Adreno 610. Now this device is going to have 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. And out of the box, you're going to have Android 10 with security patch of May 1st, 2020. Now with the Redmi Note 9S here, you're going to have the Snapdragon 720 inside this device, which is going to have 8 cores. It's an octa-core chipset as well. But 6 of them are going to be clocked at 2.32 GHz, and the other 2 are clocked at 1.8. I believe this CPU is overclocked here. And for the GPU, it's going to be the Adreno 618. Now this model in particular is going to have 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. And out of the box, the device is going to be running Android 10 with security patch of June 1st, 2020. So when it comes to the specifications on paper here, I'm going to have to give it to the Redmi Note 9S. And that's simply because the device has the Snapdragon 720 inside of it, along with the Adreno 618, which is a bit more powerful than the Snapdragon 665 inside the Moto G Power. And both devices are running Android 10. So based on the on paper, it literally just has to go to the Redmi Note 9S for the Snapdragon 720 inside. And as of right now, it's going to have a score of 1, and the Moto G Power is going to have a score of 0. Let's get to the next part. So Max Squad, with this next part of the speed test here, what we're going to be doing is the application open and RAM management test, in which we open pretty much the same applications on both devices at the same time to see which one can open it faster. And then afterwards, we test the RAM on each device to see which can hold the applications that we open better in the background. So the first application we're going to open up here is Play Store. That goes to the Redmi Note 9S. The next application we're going to open up here is YouTube. I'm going to give that to the Redmi Note 9S. If you think different, let me know in the comment section below. The next application we're going to open up here is Amazon. That goes to the Redmi Note 9S by a hair. The next application we're going to do here is Best Buy. That goes to the Redmi Note 9S. The next application I'm going to open up here is Instagram. I'm not sure who won that one. It looked like a tie to me. Let me know in the comment section who got that one. Slow it down. The next application I'm going to open up here is Twitter. That goes to the Redmi Note 9S. The next application we're going to open up here is Spotify. And that goes to the Redmi Note 9S. And the final application we're going to open up here is Call of Duty Mobile. And that goes to the Redmi Note 9S. So Max Squad, when it came to the application opening part of the test here, the Redmi Note 9S absolutely destroyed the Moto G Power here, opening up every single application faster than it. Now let's test the RAM on each device to see if it can actually win in that department too. Play Store. Held by both. YouTube. Held by both. Amazon. A refresh on both. Best Buy. A refresh on both. Instagram. Held by the Redmi Note 9S. Twitter. Held by both. Spotify. Held by the Redmi Note 9S. And Call of Duty Mobile, held by both. So Mask Squad, as you saw with the application open and RAM management part of the speed test here, the Redmi Note 9S opened up every single application faster than the Moto G Power. And as far as the RAM management, it held a few more applications in the background better than the Moto G Power as well. Now both devices held Call of Duty Mobile in the background, which to me was quite impressive because it is a pretty big game along with the other apps that I was throwing at it there. As of right now, the score is going to be 2 for the Redmi Note 9S and 0 for the Moto G Power. Let's go ahead and get to the next part of the speed test. So with this next part of the speed test here, Max Squad, what we're going to be discussing is the AnTuTu benchmark numbers, the Geekbench numbers, and we're also going to run a speed test with the application here to see which device can pull down the faster data speeds and have the faster up speeds. So we're looking at the AnTuTu benchmark here. You can see on the Moto G Power, we have a score of 166,425, while on the Redmi Note 9S, we have 252,084, which is about 100,000 point difference in between both devices here. So you can see what the Snapdragon 720 and the Adreno 616 is actually capable of in comparison to the Snapdragon 665 and the Adreno 610. Now, other things are factored in as well. Both devices have the same amount of RAM, same amount of internal storage. So, quite similar in a lot of different areas here. Now, looking at the Geekbench 5 tests on each device here, you can see in the Moto G Power, we have a single core score of 309 and a multi-core score of 1,263. And looking at the Redmi Note 9S, we have a single core score of 570 and a multi-core score of 1,706. So you can see here on the Moto G Power here that the performance of it is not bad at all. It's actually a pretty good performing phone. It's just that when you compare it to a device that has a device that has a superior CPU, you see the difference here. Everyday performance, of course, but also in Geekbench and the AnTuTu benchmark here. So with it taking the AnTuTu benchmark, the Redmi Note 9S, it's going to take the Geekbench 5 as well. Now let's find out which device can pull down the faster data speeds. So Mask Squad, you know what time it is here. It's time for a speed test. And what we're going to be doing is running a speed test on each device to see which can pull down the faster data speeds and which can get the faster up speeds here. So let's go ahead and get that started in 3, 2, 1. So Mask Squad, if you look at the data speeds here, you can see that in the Moto G Power, we got a down of 63 and up of 22.9. While on the Redmi Note 9S, we got a down of 87. And these are both even, which is kind of funny, the down speeds, and a up of 22.7. So definitely faster on the down speeds, but not as quick on the up speeds here. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Redmi Note 9S because the ups were pretty similar. And being that it took the AnTuTu benchmark, the Geekbench, and now the speed test here, you can see that it is already going to have to be 3 for the Redmi Note and 0 for the Moto G Power. So let's go ahead and get to the next part of the speed test and see which device can take that one. So Mask Squad, with this next part of the speed test here, what we're going to be doing is installing some of the top applications here from the Play Store. Now we're going to be doing 3 at the max, no pun intended, and whichever device installs 2 of those 3 applications faster than the other automatically wins this part of the speed test here. And so the first application we're going to install here is Zoom Cloud Meeting, and let's go ahead and get that started. The G Power takes this one. And so Max Squad, the next application we're going to install here is the best application in the world, and it goes by the name of HBO Max. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And that goes to the Redmi Note 9S. So being that each device took a W here, one installed an application faster than the other, so right now it's tied 1-1. Let's go ahead and install the second best application in the world, which is WhatsApp Messenger. And we're going to install that here in 3, 2, 1. This is for all the marbles here. Who's going to take this one? All right, the G Power is off to a strong start. It's already installing. Now the Redmi Note 9S is installing. Let's see. And that was a tie. Wow. I don't know what to call this one here, but you know what? Because it was a tie, it looked like it was exactly a tie here. I'm going to go ahead and say that was definitely a draw, and that the conclusion of this round here is going to be the first ever declared draw between both devices. So I'm going to give a point to the G Power and a point to the Redmi Note 9S. So right now the Redmi Note 9S has 4 and the Moto G Power has 1. Let's get to the final part of the speed test video here and close it out. So Mac Squad, with this final part of the speed test video here, what we're going to be doing is a simple restart test in which we just turn the device on and off and see which one can do it faster. Right now I got both devices queued up for the reboot screen. So let's go ahead and get that started in 3, 2, 1. Now, which one do I think is going to win? I'm going to say the Redmi Note 9S because, as we know here on the channel, Mac Squad, we all know this here. The Moto G Power is notoriously slow at rebooting here, and so I would not be surprised if it actually got left behind in the dust, like really bad, really bad. So let's just see what happens. And that goes to the Redmi Note 9S. So Mac Squad, as you saw there, the Redmi Note 9S took it when it came to the reboot test there. And so that leaves a final score of 5 for the Redmi Note and 1 for the Moto G Power. But Mac Squad, what was your favorite part of this video here? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel here, consider subscribing so that you don't miss any coverage when it comes to budget devices like the Moto G Power and the Redmi Note 9S. And Mac Squad, like this video here so that other people just like you can get a little bit more help when it comes to researching budget devices like the Moto G Power and the Redmi Note 9S. And then you can see speed test videos by the twos. Makes sense to me. And last but not least, share this video with your friends and family and let them know that not all Android cameras suck. It is just not true. But until then, my name is Max Rock. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day, y'all. Deuces.